What up, Search fam? Sharde here. It's Tuesday. We got our tea. Let's get started. Hello, my dear ones. Welcome back to another Tuesday. I hope you have your tea. I have mine. It's green, just plain old green. And actually, I don't have any sugar in this one because sometimes I don't do sweeteners. How are you doing? Let's check in. Let me know down in the comment section how your weekend went, and is your week off to a good start? Part of my growth journey in this season has been acknowledging when I feel resistance towards things. This is both external and internal. And what I mean by resistance is feeling like there's pushback between you and whatever the thing is. Sometimes it is external stimuli that seems to be blocking or causing some challenge towards you getting to wherever the next point is on your journey. And then on the inside, it's when something happens. Let's say something good happens and you automatically go, no, there has to be something wrong with this. I'm going to lose it. Like, you just end up in this mental cycle of negativity and you are resisting a good thing, or you know you have to move forward. You've been feeling the push or your intuition telling you that you are supposed to do a particular thing, and your insides immediately go into shock mode, and it's like, no, I can't do this, and or it's not going to work out, or whatever the case may be. And I think a lot of times, and what I found in myself, is that when those things happen, when my anxieties come up, when I begin worrying, when I push back against a thing, or feel that pushback against the thing, what I immediately try to do is suppress it, to put it away and get over it, and to just either remain where I am, where it's comfortable, or to make myself not pay attention to those things and just keep moving, whatever that means. And that's not always in the forward moving, helpful kind of way. Sometimes I just be spinning my wheels and not even realizing it. And so I think it's important, what I have found for myself is that it is important to not just move to action when those things come up, but to acknowledge it and to sit with it for a bit. Not get stuck in it. Sitting with something and getting stuck in are two different things. When you sit with it, it's like when we sit down to have our weekly chats. You are observing the thing. You are listening to it. You are seeing what comes up. And so when it comes to resistance, I'm really starting to learn that you have to acknowledge it. You have to ask questions of it. I really believe in asking questions of everything. If I feel something, especially if it's negative, I have to ask myself why. And when you do this, one can take power from it. And it can, once you start digging a little bit deeper into why you feel it or why you might be experiencing it, it allows you to disentangle your own neuroses, your own fears, your own worries. And I feel like anxiety a lot of times for me is resistance to things. Fear that I don't deserve good things, fear that things will not work out, fear of the worst case scenario, which more often than not never occurs. So I have to ask myself why I am feeling this, why I'm pushing back. And by acknowledging this, we give ourselves a chance to grow. And I think it's like shining a light on a boogeyman and realizing that it's a stuffed animal. You know? Like when we were little and I was never afraid of the dark, but you know, sometimes when ambient lighting hits or the moon hits your room in a certain way and it makes small things look big, that is what I feel like resistance can be magnifying. It takes worries and make them bigger. It takes molehills and makes them mountains, to use a cliche. And when you sit with it, when you're willing to acknowledge it and say, I see you, and I want to know why you're here, we begin to leave room for ourselves to speak, for our circumstances to speak to the things that bother us, that maybe we have diminished, ignored, suppressed. And it gives us the opportunity, it invites us to work through what bothers us and what is keeping us from traversing into the next stage, whatever that looks like, or to change something either within us or or around us that moves us closer to goals, closer to a more authentic version of ourselves, moves us closer to the next level in our journeys. And when you take the time to be with those feelings and to see them as they are, you build a practice of mindfulness of your own reactions. And I think a lot of times we go through life reacting to things as they happen without really interrogating why we react that way, why certain things trigger us, why they bother us, why there are certain lessons that we continue to repeat. Because I think a lot of times when certain resistances that we experience on the inside are repeated patterns that we have long adopted and it's comfortable. So when we're called to change, it becomes difficult to release the comfort of the thing that you know. And there's another cliche that's like the devil that you know, being comfortable with the devil that you know. And part of the human condition is just being very afraid of the unknown. But it is in the unknown that we are able to discover. It is in the unknown that we explore, that can yield space for creativity, that can stretch us to do more than we thought we were able to do. And so one of the things, and I wouldn't talk about all of this without leaving you with a little bit of a strategy to be more mindful of the resistance in your own life. One of the things that I do when I feel the resistance, because it's not just, mentally I recognize my inner monologue going, no, I don't want to do that, or no, that's not okay, or whatever the voice sounds like. But many times there are deep feelings within our bodies. And so, and I'll share an experience I had just this week. I was doing a job, because I freelance as a photographer and a videographer. I had been doing a job, and I had been paid incorrectly. And so I went through this whole process where I was like, well, maybe I should just accept what they gave me and not say anything. And then in my head, I'm like, no, you can't do that, because then you will always accept people devaluing your work. And the thought of speaking up for myself made my heart start beating fast. I started feeling a little nauseous in my stomach. My body felt on edge. The fear of speaking up and addressing an issue, because I'm not a real confrontational kind of person, but I also am someone who's always telling others to advocate for themselves. So this was a lesson to see if I was going to advocate for myself. And let me tell you, for years, I just go with things. I don't advocate for myself. And there's a whole myriad of reasons that I have unpacked as to why that is. But this was, and I could feel it as this was going to be the repeating of a cycle to see if I was ready to break it. And I was scared. And so I did it, and it was scary. I was scared the whole time. It gave me a shot of adrenaline in my body that I did not want. And so when I did it, and I went on and did it, did the thing, talked to the person, they were not happy with it, but also I felt a deep pride within myself, because I realized that I was tired of repeating the cycle of not advocating for myself. But the resistance to doing it, the fear in my body that I felt, was because I still wondered whether I would burn a bridge by holding someone accountable to the agreement that we made on my pay rate. But also, did I really deserve what I was asking for? So those were the two things that came up with me acknowledging my resistance in myself to doing the thing and still doing it anyway. So I say that to say, whenever you feel the resistance, if there is time before you react, take 5 minutes. It doesn't take that long. Take 5 minutes, step back within yourself and say, okay, ask yourself a couple of questions. Here's the line of questioning. 1, what am I feeling? 2, why is this resistance coming up? And when this happens, you might have to ask yourself why a couple of times to get to the root of why you're experiencing this particular thing. And then 3A, is this something that I am ready to move beyond? And if the answer is yes, okay, what is the one step I can take to move through that? And then one step it usually just takes one step. One step leads to the next step. And if you think about it in terms of what small thing can I do to go through the resistance, to acknowledge it, to sit with it, and then move through it, you'll find that holding yourself to one step will set off a chain of events that allow you to really move past and level up. So yeah, our human experience is never without resistance, but I think it can reveal a lot about what we've struggled with and invite us to resolve the cycle so that we can move forward and elevate ourselves. Let me know what you think about this. As always, my dear ones, I hope you have a wonderful week, that you find a reason to smile, find something to be in awe of, and that you do something to take care of yourself. If this helps, if you think this will help someone else, like it so more people can find it. Comment and interact with me, because we're building a community. Share with someone else, because one that helps more people see it, and it'll bring more people to our little family. I love you. Have a wonderful week. See you in the next one. Bye.